Here's part 2 of my opinions on the Dragon Ball Z movies. There's the middle third. Now, before I get started, this middle third is kind of shuffled, and really, this is probably the 5 had the most difficulty ranking because they're all kind of so-so in my opinion, but I had to put them somewhere, so here we go. Number 10 is World's Strongest. Again, this is another one I saw on tape, the Ocean dub, the original Ocean dub, and I think one of the things I don't really like about this movie is the song sequence. It's really weird to have a song about studying, and I didn't like it. Not to mention, this one doesn't really do too much. I don't know. The villain in this one is kind of lame. And I did like his idea of transferring his gigantic brain into the world's strongest fighter, the body of the world's strongest fighter. And it's kind of nice to see Roshi get a little bit of a moment before he gets his ass kicked again. And so I like that, but I don't know, just something about it, especially with Piccolo just being completely taken out first, and then why don't you use his body, or why are you brainwashing him instead? And that whole sequence was just, I don't know, it was lackluster and really nothing something I really liked. So, yeah. Number 9 is Lord Slug. Now, I have to say, the design on what's called the False Super Saiyan is pretty cool. I like the Super Saiyan aura, but with black hair and his eyes kind of look like they're rolled back in his head. And this is basically a retread of the King Piccolo story from back in the Dragon Ball days. But I do like this is a super Namekian, and he's supposed to be really powerful. But again, it's just like with King Piccolo back in the day. I did like his minions. They're pretty cool. And Piccolo got a little bit more time to shine, as it were. And even kill a couple of them. But for the most part, this one's okay. This is the worst where they start actually getting better. But I do like the fight sequence between Goku and Slug. It's pretty cool. But I don't know. There's some good stuff, but it just doesn't really hit me the way some of the other stuff does. But I will say I did like the transformation that he had, as well as using the Kaioken, all the different ways that he and King Piccolo fought. Very reminiscent of the Slug. You probably saw Team 4-Star, you know what would happen to me. But yeah, the Slug stuff is very reminiscent of King Piccolo. But if you like that story arc, I'm sure you probably like this because it's a very condensed version of it. So yeah, pretty good, but I don't know. Number 8 is Super Android 13. Now, this is the first one that I actually rather enjoy of this list more than Slug, but I think this one is kind of interesting because this is one where the English dub is better because they actually do more with the androids, especially with 14 and 15. There's a lot more to them, whereas in the original Japanese dub, there's really nothing to them. But yeah, I watched all these in English, so this is how I'm going to rank them. And I did like having Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku fighting these androids, and each giving them a chance to really shine, as it were, and give them a chance to show their Super Saiyan ability. And not to mention, it gives you this thought of, wow, if this is what it took to take out these lesser androids, what's going to happen when they fight 17 and 18? Because it's a nice little thought experiment when you think about it. If you had seen this first before you watch their fight with 17, 18, or even 19 and 20. So, yeah, good stuff. I thought the Super Spirit Bomb was kind of interesting, especially the way he absorbed it. And you've never even seen that outside of like the video games. So yeah, I liked it. Not to mention good fight sequences, good stuff between all the fighters, and not to mention a badass entrance by Vegeta. So yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed it. Alright, number 7 is Wrath of the Dragon. Now, this one is a nice little, I guess, wrap up to the Dragon Ball Z series, because this was the last Dragon Ball Z movie before before Battle of Gods. And so we had, what was it, 15 years? Maybe even more than that before, in between the movies. And this is a nice little one. It's kind of interesting to see them fight basically a giant monster like Godzilla. But the way that they had this monster be freed was kind of interesting. I like the character they brought in that had the sword that basically became Trunks' sword. And people think that's how he got his sword, even though, never mind. It's a kind of a headache if you really think about it. But I like some of the stuff that they did with this character, the way his powers worked, and I did like the way that each of them had a chance to try and fight him, but they all kept failing. But I will say, I thought the ending was kind of weak, as far as, how they finished off the villain. And I was actually debating whether to put this one at 8 and put Super Android 13 at 7, but like I said, this is all mixed up together, so I could have easily done it either way. So yeah, good stuff. Nice little finale to the series, as it were, through the movies, and good characters that we all like. So yeah, good stuff. Number 6 is the return of Cooler. This is the second movie with Cooler in it, and this is where he goes to New Namek in his metallic body, very reminiscent of Frieza's robotic body, but a lot more robot and basically no human parts left. But I did like the inclusion of all these different characters. You had Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, and even the lesser characters like Yajirobe and Roshi, having a little bit of comedy with them, but also having some good action with Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin fighting the robot henchmen. Pretty fun. I like those fights. Pretty cool stuff. And the fights between Goku and Vegeta versus Mecha Cooler, pretty cool and interesting, especially when you first see him regenerating, and then it's like, okay, how are they going to destroy it? And then when they finally do, there's more to it than that, and there's a really cool badass scene where they're both powering up at each other. I kind of wish they'd shown the fight, what happened afterwards, but it's a shorter, these Dragon Ball Z movies are probably not even an hour and a half. So yeah, there's nothing much you could really do about time-wise. Not to mention, I did like the pacing of this one, where as some of the other stuff, it's really paced too quickly because they're short movies. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, but it didn't break the top 5. That top 5 will be in part 3, which should come out almost immediately. So, what's an underrated movie of the Dragon Ball Z movie? What movie do you think of these 15 do you think is the most underrated? So that's my question for this part. So stay tuned for part 3, where I do my top 5. Till then, take care. Bye.